All right, yo, 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 yo. What is going on, guys? Nah, y'all probably don't know. My son, not Pamaj, Scumpy. I gotta see how he's doing. Really, how is Scumpy doing? Scump. Yeah. Well, anybody watch him used to. That was his go-to thing. The yo, yo, yo. What is going on, guys? But anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Here we are, 3 years later, from this video. This May 27th, 2023, first ever video. I remember starting this journey in 2019, 2020. Not journey by journey. I mean understanding the financial sector of things, understanding really how the world works, why things work the way they do. That was always kind of like my niche. And in high school, I had that thought. I always wanted to understand why. I always asked myself why about anything I learned. Why? Why does it work like that? What makes it do that? The who, what, when, where, and why kind of thing. But here I am 3 years later, almost to the day, 3 years and a couple weeks. And I am recording this video to really see if I progressed or I regressed, and in what areas I still need to advance and still need to learn. And one of them, of course, is always going to be the financial markets. I don't think anybody's ever going to be the best ever at it. It's kind of one of those things where it's a never ending step stool. You can always get better. You can always fine tune your craft. Always get more knowledge and stuff like that. And right now, in this part of my life, I'm on a journey of learning almost everything I can. I just got done reading a couple books on the pyramids. I just got done reading a couple books on like Merkaba, all kind of things really. But here we are today on the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, NZD CAD is what I call it. And I've been in this position, or not in this exact position, at this entry price of 0.8746 almost. You could say the zero if you want, but whatever. I entered this one yesterday, but I've been in this overall sentiment. I've been in this analysis for the last 6 months, really, ever since I think this January 22nd, 2026. So 5 months ago, I had the same look, same Fibonacci sequence, and we completed and took that target, 81237. Took that in one initial impulse, and that was we're right at that level that we were at 6 months ago, which is it means nothing to me, and it should mean nothing to the people that are trying to get into the financial side of it. This is forex, right? But you can apply the chart work to anything, to stocks, to gold, to silver, to cryptocurrency, anything. You can apply it to anything. So uh, once you get good at the chart, you can apply it to anything. Is kind of what I'm hinting at, you know. But ever since this January analysis, even back in 2025, I was still heavy, very biased towards NZD gaining strength and getting a little stronger. Uh, and on the Canadian dollar side of things, we have the simple fact that it's very very linked. Why is this tweaking right now? It's very very highly correlated to oil, and I had oil pulled up here earlier, I believe. Oil is right now, it's in an uptrend, of course. From the start of the year, it was at $55 a barrel. Now it's up in the 80s. It was at one point 112, but now here we are in the 80s. And I don't think the overall initial move from that $50 area all the way into the 100s, I don't think that move has is over. I think we're still in the leg of it coming down, figuring out, and then either moving higher, or they're going to manipulate and move oil, the way they need it. And by they, I mean the people that really run the world, not the presidents and stuff like that. But anyway, let me not get too off topic. Oil's going to go down, right? That is going to evidently drag the Canadian dollar down with it. The Canadian dollar, AUD, USD, most currencies that are correlated to oil will go down with oil. It's very that simple, and it's very that uh, clear. It's not no tricks to it. Now NZD, the New Zealand dollar, they had interest rate decisions, if anybody knows, I'll just give you a little synopsis, real quick, brief one. Interest rates are mainly what drives a currency, whether to be attractive, unattractive. Whether it's a good investment, bad investment, invest in the country, to invest in the currency, to invest, stuff like that, X, Y, and Z. The New Zealand dollar. Where am I doing? What am I doing here? The New Zealand dollar and the Canadian dollar are neutral. They have the same interest rate, which I believe is 2.25. 2.25%. Yep, 2.25%. Right, and then we got followed by the euro, which they just increased interest rates today actually. So we should expect. I'll just give you like we just knowing that we can look at the euro and expect it to be going up, and look at what happened on the daily candlestick. Look, it's definitely still going to go down because that's the trend it's in. The trend is your friend. You never want to go against it. Never want to catch a falling knife. So, but now if we go to EuroCAD, I know EuroCAD is probably ripping because if I know NZD-CAD is going to go up, the EuroCAD has to go up. It's all correlated, and especially now that the euro increased interest rates while Canadian has stayed neutral, I know it's going to go up. Now look at that. See, at 160 right here, look, if you look right there, 160.79, we're at 161.70. So that's 100 pips. If you had a simple position, $10 a pip, that's a quick $1,000. Not quick because it took a little couple hours to do it, but it wouldn't have been anything hard to see. Put the stop loss below the recent low, the next most recent low, and target the highs. So you could target right here for the first target, which is where I did, or you can target a little above, which is most likely this larger Fibonacci that's placed on here from the downtrend that's going to happen, which is 16226. So that's still another 50 pips up. So just that little position right there, you could have made $1,500, $2,000. And it's not hard. It's simple. Keep it simple. It'll stay simple. Now here we are in NZD-CAD. If you know what to look at, you see the structure is clear as day. The blue candlesticks go up. It's clear as day. You're gonna get one of these and then one of those. And it's that simple. It really is that simple. You analyze something. You believe in that analysis. Things will come to make it to make that analysis come to fruition. I'm not gonna sit here and say I look at the news every day and whatever happens on the news will happen on the chart. That's not at all what I'm trying to say. It's more so of what happens on the chart will indicate what's going to happen on the news. You understand? I treat the news as the noise. I like some people put white noise to sleep or to focus or whatever. That's how I treat it. I treat it like something that's just there. I use it as a reference point, but I don't. It's not the end all be all, and it not excuse me. It 9 times out of 10 will never be that. The news is where, like I referenced earlier, the people that run the world, they use the news to influence your brain and your subconscious to get you to believe a certain way. And you always want to go with the rule of thumb that whatever's in the news, whether that be the news that you see on the TV or the news that we're looking at right now on Forex Factory, it's all tainted. It all has a certain messaging behind it that it wants you to think, and to always take that messaging and look at the opposite of that. How can somebody benefit off the opposite of that? It's just like playing chess. You know, chess is a great game to play to get you to understand the game, of course, but also life. Now I'm getting off topic. I'm getting into other things outside of the chart. Outside of the chart work, which is fine, but that's not why I was here. Really, more so here to make a new video, try to see where I'm at, and keep myself true to my craft. I've been doing that with the cash that I showed earlier. With the referencing all of the positions I've been in. I wish I had all of them ever since 2020, but I didn't, think to do this until 2023, until I started really recording the videos and trying to, you know, mark my journey and same thing with journaling. I only recently started journaling around 2022, 2021, but you know, this is really it's one of those things. You keep it simple, it stays simple, and don't overcomplicate it. I've been looking at stocks over here because it's like I said, it's the same thing. And this is Rivian. do some research behind it. I could go into it, but I don't want to make this video too long. Do some research behind it. You probably seen the trucks around, walking around the city, wherever you're from. You probably seen them anyway. It's gonna go up. I heavily, I'm heavily invested into this stock. Not because I believe in its messaging and stuff like that, but I see where the world is going, evidently. And as you can see, first target was hit. This is gonna be the next one. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm willing to lose the money. I'm not predicting it's gonna be up there per se. It's kind of like something you could feel. We're testing the volume scale, the VWAP. It's called volume weighted average profile. That's the long. That's the long. Let's see, anchor VWAP. But evidently, you can use the charts for a lot of things. A lot. Even Nike, I don't know if you guys know, but Nike is in a real weird area right now. And I know everybody owns a pair of Nikes, so it closed below this area. So it could go a lot further lower, or it could start moving upwards now. But at some point, Nike is going to rebound, and I think most people should want to own Nike stock. It's pretty good investment, pretty good return on investment since the '90s, late '90s, when probably Jordan hit the scene. 94, really. Even when he came out with his Jordans, look, 19, it was $1 a share in the '90s. That's crazy. Anyway, he came out in '84, but you know what I mean. Like when he came as hype, started winning rings and shit. But that's the stock side of it, and it's like I said, it's that simple. Keep it simple. Life will be simple. Life is simple. 4-hour candle just closed above. What is that? Mondays? No, that's Wednesday's low of last week's. So now that really signifies we're gonna get that push into this area of interest at 817, another 30 pips up. So right now we're only up 25. We're only up 70 pips, and at $20 a pip is really not too crazy of a dollar amount to be up. But yeah, 3-year difference. Even the chart looks different. Like I've noticed. Oh wow, I deleted it. Dummy. But anyway, even the chart looks different. And I like where I'm at. Spiritually, professionally, in terms of the charts and life and all such facets. So yeah, here it is. 3-year recap.